So, how I would fix 98462's reputation in the Thomas fandom is changing a few things in NW Origins, specifically the episodes he was featured in, whether or not they are big or small. What I would do is I would use Scam Scott's Blue Henry model to enforce the idea that he's freelance, as is 87546 in Thomas 1, Edward 2, and Henry 3's universe. Instead of using the tender that comes along with the Blue Henry, I would give him the 98462 B12 tender, but just so he stands out from 87546 and not look like a direct copy of him, but with the 98462 tender. Alfred's face could still be used for 98462 in NW Origins, when he has dialogue where the camera isn't moving and it's focused on him. Now, instead of taking the name Alfred from Skullboy 123, let's call him Vincent Raven. So that way, him losing his name is still a boon. Episode 3, Trouble with 3. Instead of having Henry 87546, later Croven, and 98462 be built at Croven's Gate, have them be built by the same guy who had a grudge against Grizzly and hired a spy to steal some plans, while 98462, Vincent Raven, and 87546, later Croven, being successful builds, while Henry was the White Elephant. I would also start episode 3 off with the year being 1921, whereas times have changed, Alfred has a bigger terminus, and Edward is struggling with the Express, since more and more people have been coming onto the Northwestern Railway for public transport. After being reached out about 3 engines that can be trialed, Tom would trial all 3 of them, and the story pretty much plays out the same. The only difference is that 98462 still maintains his blue paint after crashing into the sea, but would lose his name, since him losing his name is still a crucial role in his downfall.
You can't take away my name!
Episode 4 will still remain the same, but just like the changes I did with episode 3, there will be no mention of the B12s. However, episode 5 is where I make some major changes to it. The fight between Gordon and 98462 can still happen, with 98462 insulting Gordon wearing the blue livery instead of the GNR green, even going as far as claiming that he has disgraced his great Northern brethren. And finally, we get to the part I've been looking forward to make some changes to. 98462 blowing himself up. Instead of having 98462 trying to kill number 3 and 4 of the Northwestern immediately, right after he's told he's going to be sent away, instead, have a scene where Topham Hatt tells 98462 he's going to be sent away the day after. Then we get a scene where 98462 speaks to 87546 and comes with a plan to hijack the Walden Wester. The next day, after Tom is shown to Gordon's coaches, when 98462 sees he's gone, he comes up to the coaches, buckle up to them, let the passengers board, but when the guard thinks 98462 is Gordon, he will blow his whistle. But the moment he got into his cabin, he realized that engine wasn't Gordon, it was 98462. Before the guard could do anything, 98462 was already taken off, with the passengers inside and the guard with him. When Gordon arrived in the yard, he found out the coaches were no longer there. He asked Thomas, and the porter reported that the 98462 was taking the train. Shocked by this information, Gordon would speed off, chasing after 98462 before a crash could ensue. As 98462 pulls the Express at a very high speed, he felt joy, he felt pride. This was it. He was going to prove to Topham Hatt why he shouldn't be sent away, and what a mistake it would be for him to be gone from his railway. The passengers were panicking, and the guard was trying to figure out what to do. Should he jump out, or should he stay on the train? 98462's crew tried to talk him out of it, but 98462 wouldn't listen. But as they reached a sharp bend, 98462 realized what he was doing. As he tried to brake, it was when the horrible crash happened. 98462 had just derailed. His coach was underside, badly banged, and the passengers were injured. Police and ambulance arrived as Sir Topham Hatt I arrived to the scene. He looked at 98462 with disdain and anger. 98462 woke up in a workshop to find an angry Sir Topham Hatt standing in front of him, his arms crossed, asking him if he's happy now, before shouting again if he was happy now. 98462 didn't reply. All he could do is look down at his buffers in shame and disgrace. Tom told him that he would be sent to his scrapyard on the mainland far away to be cut up and scrapped. Before leaving, he would ask 98462 if there was anyone he would say goodbye to, which 98462 did, and those two were Henry and Gordon. On his final day, he would say goodbye to Henry and Gordon, but will also apologize for his actions in the past and how he regrets them badly, which takes both Gordon and Henry by surprise. He even goes on to say that he hopes that in another life, they were all friends before being taken away to be cut up for scrap. With that, episode 5 plays out the same and ends the same as well, albeit with 99462 being seen taking for scrap. And with that, those are the changes I would make to NW Origins. Before I uploaded these 2 parts, I remember posting a community post showcasing sneak peeks of it. There are 2 comments that stood out to me. One by Mary of Mares 1470 and Joey the Cat. Mary's read, I know Dog was inquiring about how the other engines will look like, where Joey asks a simple question of why do people make videos like this where they diagnose the illustrations, when Audrey said not to take the illustrations seriously. To be honest, both of them have a point. Dolby didn't really care too much for the Railway series, hence his inconsistencies in the illustrations, and Audrey did say not to take the illustrations seriously. After all, the whole point of this video was just to debunk the claim that Alfred is 98462 when in actuality he isn't. Since, after all, as I said before, Alfred is an interpretation. 98462 is a Railway series character with an unknown basis or name. So if you have 98462 as a B12 or B16, I have no issue against it. After all, it's the internet. We're allowed to have our own opinions and headcanons, and we shouldn't have to be confined to illustrations so much. Hell, even I don't confine to illustrations so much, since I have 99462 as a experimental GER460, instead of an actual B12. Again, this is just me debunking a claim that 99462 is a popular interpretation. Anyhow, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!